Welcome back to my channel. Oh, this is gonna be a good one. I am your favorite balls girl, Bougie Vintage, and today's video is a little chit chat. Get ready with me. So I know a lot of you, especially those of you who have been following me forever, are probably gonna be more stunned than anything. But under this bonnet is a bald head. And honestly, it's been a long time coming. I don't even know really where to begin, but I wanted to shave my hair for a very long time, like years. I always get the urge to do it, but then I never follow through for a few reasons. But this time I decided I would just go and do it, okay? Nothing was gonna hold me back from doing it this time. I think it's really symbolic. And if you're feeling the urge to do it, just do it. Honestly, just do it. There's no point in like thinking about, oh my god, what am I gonna look like? Who the hell cares? Who the hell cares? My main concern before doing it was actually if it was gonna throw my kids off, if they would need to adjust to it. That was my main concern. I didn't care about anything else. But it was something that needed to be done, and I have no regrets. It's a little patchy. But I have no regrets. I'm glad I did it, and I'll do it again. You're probably like, oh my god, what brought you to this place? Because the last video I uploaded, that is my real hair, and my real hair is quite long. But my real hair has been long my whole life. And it's just hair, and it's going to grow back. It's symbolic because I've been feeling a lot like a butterfly lately. Or a caterpillar, actually. I even caught a caterpillar, and it mysteriously disappeared. So I caught it, I put it in a jar, and I was going to transfer it so that it could pupate properly and turn into a cocoon and then be released. But literally, the jar went missing off of my porch. Oh, Noli. Never to be seen again. Don't know what happened to it. Don't know who took it up. Have an idea. But I really don't know what happened to the butterfly, and nobody in my house seems to know what happened to it either, which I found completely strange. Maybe it was just a sign from God that I didn't need to put a caterpillar in a jar to see a butterfly emerge, because I myself am a caterpillar, or I was a caterpillar. A butterfly would soon emerge out of me. A lot of times when people shave their head, it's a big dramatic thing. Like I just went over the Britney Spears situation the other day. A lot of times it's a huge deal when a woman shaves her head. Women are not supposed to shave their heads. I don't know who made this rule. And I presume it's going to be a huge deal that I shave my head, because I always have loved my hair. I still love my hair. But when you're so desperate for change, and when you're so ready to enter into a new chapter in your life, you want to get rid of anything excess or baggage like that you're holding on to. Not to say that my hair is baggage or my hair was baggage, but your hair definitely does hold energy. And you know, I haven't cut my hair since probably 2010, and I cut my hair back then more for aesthetic purposes. My mom was totally against it when I cut it back then, but I didn't care then. And over the last few years, wanting to cut my hair and getting these strong urges to cut it and never following through with it for a few reasons. But then I just came into this place where I really just do not care. And I guess you could say it's me being unapologetic again. Because sometimes we lose that. Like, I feel like I lost it a bit. Okay, listen to Nola fussing. Noli, why are you... You're supposed to be sleeping. You're supposed to be sleeping, Nola. Child, I gotta go put Noli back to sleep. I don't even know what I was saying before I disappeared on you. Your hair holds all your secrets. It holds energy, negative and positive, of course. What's the matter? Let mommy be great. Mama, you're okay, I promise. Watch your show. In Jesus' name, I need you to hush. In Jesus' name. Now you have to do it. Yeah, and so your hair holds trauma. Like, remember, your hair is dead when it's growing out of your scalp. Hair is already dead. That's why it grows even after you die. But I haven't cut my hair since like 2010. I went through a lot in that time too, but I cut it more for aesthetic purposes back then. It wasn't to free myself or relieve myself. It wasn't anything like that. I literally just cut it because I wanted to cut it. This time it's very different because I truly feel like big shifts are afoot, and I didn't want to enter into a new season in my life with old stuff hanging on to me. I think a lot of people cut their hair during the pandemic because one, everything was closed and they couldn't make it to the barber, but also because during the pandemic, issues were definitely heightened. So if you were struggling with any kind of mental health issues, they definitely got heightened during the pandemic, and I am not excluded from that. It started off okay, but then after a while it got a little bit crazy because every day feels the same, right? Every day is like you're doing the same thing over and over and over again. I mean, you can liken it to being in jail with better food. Like, that's really all this is, because when they kept shutting us down and restricting us from seeing people, from doing things, it really brought my anxiety and like my OCD, like it brought it all to the forefront and just maximized it. And so I don't talk about that stuff a lot on my channel. I've talked about my anxiety before, but I never talked about anything else. And now that I'm a mom and I had 3 kids back to back, my body has just gone through so much. Aside from what I've been through for the last, I don't know, 10 years plus, 11 years since 2010. Since the last 10 years, my body has gone through a lot of different traumas. It has gone through pregnancy. It has gone through emotional stress. Like, my body has just gone through so much in the last 10 years. And when you go through trauma, your brain actually changes. It literally changes the way that your brain functions and works. And your head is where your brain is located and where all your thoughts are. All of your hair follicles are growing out of that. So anything that you're thinking, anything that crosses your mind is essentially going to be growing out into your hair. And that's probably why hair is dead on arrival, okay? Because it holds so much. Like I said, for years I wanted to cut it, but I never got around to doing it. And last night that all changed. I actually wasn't going to cut it until Tuesday. So obviously a big change like that is not something that you can just do. Well, you can just do it if you want to, if you're there. But I had to inform Shooter that I was going to be cutting it because I couldn't just show up with a bald head. He'd be like, So I let him know that I was going to be cutting it. I can't say that he was here for it, but it was something that I had to do for myself. So even if he wasn't going to be here for it, I still gonna do it. And I did it. So yeah, like I said, it was definitely a long time coming, and I finally mustered up the courage and the strength to do it because I feel the shifts happening. They've been happening for quite some time, but like, you have to be on board with the shift. You can't you can't not be on board, baby. I'm boarding the ark, okay? I am boarding the freaking ark. One of the things that kind of pushed me to do it was definitely postpartum, because with my first 2 babies, I didn't have postpartum depression. I really didn't. But after this 3rd baby, and this is a pandemic baby, so she was created in the pandemic. She was created at a time too where stress levels were extremely high. She was born during the pandemic because the pandemic is still ongoing. So for the first time, I'm forced to deal with postpartum, and because you guys have always, like, all the moms that follow me have always asked me to cover like postpartum, but I've never dealt with it because times were just different. But being that we are being in the pandemic and, you know, being home all the time with the kids, going through my personal changes, like, it just got a lot. Like, it's just a lot. Yeah, so now I'm dealing with postpartum, and then I'm just like, I need to do something for me. So I decided to cut my hair. Based on how I was feeling before I cut it, I thought that when I finally cut it, it would be such a release for me that I would cry, you know. I didn't even have the urge to cry. I just cut it. And it let me know that we are way too attached to our hair. Unnecessarily attached to our hair. Because I didn't cry as I was cutting it, I kind of knew that I didn't make a mistake. I just knew that it was the right thing to do for me. My only suggestion would be to not do it yourself. But it's freeing to do it yourself, but like I would suggest, if you actually want to do it, to go to a barber and let them snip it for you. This might be your sign to just do it. Like maybe you've been feeling like you need to cut your hair, and you know, you've gone through stuff, you've gone through life, and you haven't really cut your hair. Like every time I get pregnant, I cut my hair, but I just trim it, you know what I mean? Like I cut my hair from like 18 inches to 14 inches instead of with this time, darling, I was like, I'm going all the way in. I definitely feel like this is part of my spiritual journey. You guys got to see the beginning of that, and our spiritual journey never really ends. It's just a matter of when you're actually realizing you're on it. Because everybody's on a spiritual journey. Like, it's so weird to touch my head and it's just nothing under there. So as I said before, like I was really concerned with how my kids were gonna react to it. Like, oh my god, they've only ever known me with long hair, but then when I think about it, they've seen me do all different kinds of things with my hair because I wear wigs. And that was the other thing too. I was like, you know what, if I cut my hair and it totally looks crazy, well, I'll just put a wig on, girl. And you know, I might have to wear a wig until my hair is pretty even, but when you cut your hair this short too, it grows pretty fast. But yeah, I was really concerned with how are my kids gonna react to this, especially Belle, because I've seen her, like, even when my mom like takes her glasses off, I've seen Belle get uncomfortable or like she's like examining you kind of thing, and she might be a little standoffish at first because she's like, whoa, who are you? But she didn't do any of that. She literally smiled at me. I asked her if she wanted to touch it and she said yes, and then she told me my hair was yucky. But in this house, that is definitely a compliment. Look, Belle. Look at mommy's hair. Do you like it?
Yeah.
You want to touch it? Touch it.
Ew. Yucky hair. Your hair's yucky hair.
Oh my, thank you. And then Salem, I wasn't concerned that she wasn't going to like my hair. I knew that she would like it, but I still figured it might be a little shocking to see me with such short hair. But both of my kids reacted fine. You want to touch it? Do you like it?
Yeah. It looks cute like Bella's.
Thank you.
Wait, when we went in the car.
Nola, on the other hand, has been very fussy today. She's been quite the fuss butt today, but I don't think it has anything to do with my hair. And as far as their daddy, I let him know before I was cutting it that I was going to be cutting it. Like I always have expressed that I wanted to cut it, but I just wasn't at a place, I guess, where I could actually go through with it and be okay with myself with it. But yeah, I've arrived, okay? I've been cocooning for a long time, and I'm officially a butterfly, which brings me to a little story. The other day, my kids were in my room, which they're not generally allowed in here, but in the morning time. They usually come in and they hang out for a bit before we go down for breakfast. And on my birthday in April, they were in my room and they started fooling around, and Belle had been over by my filming equipment. I had told her to get away from it, but of course, being a terrible 2-year-old, well, almost 2 at that point, she didn't listen, and my camera broke. It didn't break to where it's not usable, but the camera fell over and the viewfinder kind of cracked. Not the screen, but like the plastic part holding it onto the camera. It cracked, and so obviously I'm pissed off. It's my birthday and this is happening, and so I'm highly annoyed. Their dad ushers them out of the room, and from that point on I was just like, yeah, no, these kids are not welcome in my room. Anyway, the other day, literally like 2 days ago, they were in my room and again they started horsing around, and at that point my camera tripod had went like this. It didn't fall, it didn't tip over, but it moved, and I was like, okay, no, you guys gotta go now, go to your own room. However, when they were horsing around, Belle had hurt herself, so she was laying on the ground, fussing, and so I got up and came around to the other side of the bed to assist her. And so I went to pick her up, and I didn't know that my Fenty mirror was on the ground, on the bed, underneath the blanket that was hanging off of the bed. And so as I leaned forward to pick her up and then lean backwards, my foot was on it and I didn't know because my foot was on top of the blanket and the mirror cracked. Now they say if you break a mirror, it's 7 years of bad luck. But I'm not into all that, so that's not why I brought this up. So obviously I hear the crack and I'm like, oh my God. So I see that it's the mirror. I'm obviously even more irritated now. I get the kids out the room, and then when I come back and I flip the mirror over, I'll show it to you guys, I see it and it looks like an hourglass the way that it broke. And so this morning my kids came into my room because they were actually headed out to the pet store with their dad to get some fish. After I showed them my hair, Belle gets off my bed and she goes over to my vanity and she brings me the mirror. And she's like, look, mommy, it's a butterfly. And I'm like, perspective. Perspective is everything. You can either take what life throws at you and be miserable when it's not going your way. Because trust me, life has not been going my way. Okay. Life has definitely not been going my way for a long time. But perspective is so important. And I've been referencing butterflies a lot lately. Just in my personal life and personal growth. When Belle brought me that mirror and said that to me, like, it just took my mind like to a completely other place, because not once when I looked at it did I see a butterfly. I saw an hourglass, and it really intrigued me the way it broke because of a lot of different things I'm not gonna get into, but the hourglass was symbolic in itself, but her perspective of it really kind of just blew my mind, because I'm like, wow, I would have never have ever have looked at it and said this looked like a butterfly. And it was really a game changer, because I haven't looked in the mirror, well, I haven't looked in that mirror since I cut my hair, and her bringing me the mirror and saying, look, mommy, it's a butterfly, and me holding the mirror up to myself for the first time with my bald head in that broken mirror and seeing a butterfly instead of seeing an hourglass. Like, do you guys get what I'm trying to say? Because I feel like I'm rambling, but like, oh my God, like, she really did something there. Belle's a whole philosopher, y'all. A whole philosopher. Isn't she, Miss Noli? Yeah, you agree with mommy? But yes, shaving my head has been liberating. Like, I totally get it. I wish I would have done it sooner, but nothing happens before it's time. And once you're at that place, you'll know. What is it, Belle?
Butterfly.
So before I cut it, I knew I needed to do it, but I just wasn't all the way there. And then I started watching the new season of Love Island, and there's a black girl on there. She recently cut her hair, And she's wearing a wig at first, but then she reveals that she actually cut her hair off, and she talks about it a little bit. And it really started turning the gears in my head, like, okay. When she had her wig on, I'm like, she's pretty, but she ain't, something is wrong. And then when she slid that thing off, I'm like, this is the most beautiful woman ever, like literally. And so I just wanted to feel that about myself. Every time she has the wig on the show, I'm like, please take it off, lady. Take off the damn wig. And so that was one of my motivating things that got me like past the threshold, like over on the, like the thing that really tipped the scales. And then that was that, but I didn't go grab the scissors right away, you know what I mean? So then I'm scrolling and I see Gunplay has shaved his head and he looks like a zaddy, okay? And I'm like, oh my god. Gunplay has had his locks for years and they were huge and they were long, and like a lot of people cut their locks off and then after years of growing them, like years, way longer than I've been growing my natural hair for. After I saw Gunplay, I was like, okay, no, I have to do it. Because most people don't part way from their locks. I mean, recently, 2 of my sisters have locked their hair. So after I saw Gunplay, I'm like, yeah, it's definitely time. Which brings me back to the hourglass. It's definitely time. So once I saw Gunplay, I was like, okay, I'm going to do it on Tuesday. Where did I put the other damn eyelash? Oh my god, I lost it. Where did I put it?
You're being such a good girl. Why did they have to come get you?
No, she's been fussing.
You're fussing? Nice.
Where the hell did I put the freaking eyelash?
Oh,
Girl, see the eyelash here stuck to my hand? If Gunplay can do it, I can do it too. So, I need help. So, yeah, so after I saw Gunplay, I'm like, yeah, I'm finna do it. I'm gonna do it. And it's something that you have to bite the bullet and do. So why I was gonna do it on Tuesday was because I didn't think I was gonna be able to do it and film it, and like I just thought that Tuesday would be my filming day, so I would just do it on Tuesday. But then I had put the kitties to sleep last night, and after sharing with Shooter that I would be cutting my hair, I came upstairs with the scissors, I cut it, and then I took the razor to it, and the only regret I have is that I didn't go to a barber. That's my only regret. But then this morning I had it evened out. It looks better, but it's definitely not. It's not where it's not the best haircut, but I am in love with the fact that I have no hair, so it's not all bad. And so yeah, maybe seeing me with my hair is gonna motivate you to cut it if you've been feeling like, oh my god, I need to do something. I need to cut my hair. I need to cross over into that new territory where I'm ready for real change and not just gonna be stagnant anymore. Maybe this will be your motivating factor, like how Gunplay was mine. Never in a million years did I think Mr. Bible on the Dash would be one of the reasons that I end up cutting my hair off. He's not really the reason I cut my hair. He just like kind of made me feel like it's okay to transition and go into new spaces and new territories and commit to healthy changes. Because I even saw a girl on TikTok like weeks ago. I saw a girl on TikTok. She had locks. She cut the locks off. She didn't shave her head, but she did cut her locks off and had her mini fro, and she experimented for maybe 2 years? I can't remember what the TikTok was. She experimented with different styles, with wigs, with weaves, with natural, with straight, whatever it was. She experimented for a while with that stuff and then installed her locks back in her head. I said, what? And that's because your hair is already dead when it grows out of your head. So once it's growing out of your head and it's dead, it doesn't die further. It doesn't disintegrate or hair will last forever. So that's how she was able to reinstall her locks. I'm feeling like I need a wing liner or something because this is not giving. Now I'm me, so obviously what's under this bonnet, which I will obviously reveal once the whole look is done. I'm me, so this hair is not going to stay black. I'm going to definitely be dyeing it all kinds of colors, and I'm going to have the most fun with it. If you're like me and generally resistant to big changes, this is your sign to go for it. God sent me to tell y'all it's gonna be okay, because trust me, the postpartum has been kicking my butt, and I said if I don't cut this hair off and get rid of all the toxic thoughts that have been in my mind, I'm gonna lose my mind. So I ain't about to let the enemy steal my damn joy. No ma'am, I do not have the time. And I didn't feel like I was gonna be okay. It's hot as balls. It was only a few weeks ago that I even realized that I had PPD. After I filmed my last video is when I had to really realize and accept that I have postpartum depression, and things got presumably harder. And so once I realized that, I was able to go in, talk to my doctor, and, you know, try to find a solution to the problem. I had to go in depth in another video to talk about postpartum, because it's a crazy thing to deal with and hard to deal with. And like, I salute you, honestly, if you're a mom and you're dealing or have dealt with, I salute you. I love you, I support you, girl. And that's why I'm actually being open about mine, because a lot of people aren't. A lot of people are just silently suffering. I personally don't feel that I would be dealing with it if we weren't stuck in a pandemic and the days weren't running into each other. Like, half the time I don't know if it's freaking Monday, Sunday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, or Saturday. I don't know what day of the week it is. You know, we can't go explore as much as we used to. I have crippling anxiety, and my anxiety has worsened since the pandemic has been ongoing. It was not as bad as it was before, but like, my mind has been so conditioned to staying inside the house that when it comes to leaving the house, there's an issue. And it never used to be that way. So you want to mix that with my postpartum and just life in general. It's really, really important to deal with any issues that surround mental health. That's my number one priority. God has had me on like a crazy ride. And I guess this is my ode to him. Like, this is my statement. This is my bald move, okay? It's not even a bold move, it's a bald move. As you can see, we have patch problems on this side because I started cutting on this side, and then I realized maybe I shouldn't be going so low. I should have put the guard on, but I had no idea what I was doing. Watch a YouTube tutorial next time before you decide to do this. But I definitely feel like this is my commitment to change, to embracing change, my commitment to new things, a different way of doing things. It's my commitment to new life, baby, okay? My courage definitely came from the Lord. You know, I'm in my last year of my 20s. It was my champagne birthday. I tried to do a thing, child. So much is always going on. So much is always going to be going on. I mean, I ain't got time for my hair, okay? So snip, snip, it's gone. It's only going to be temporary. Obviously, I'm going to grow it back out when I feel it's time to grow it back out, when it's time to enter into another phase of life. But having the courage to do it the first time lets me know that one, I could do anything, but two, I am not going to be fearful of doing it a second time and a third time. So yeah, I mean, you guys can tell me in the comment section below if you're stunned, if you're shocked. I feel like I look womanly like this. Like, do I look like my mom? I can't. Ain't nothing but a little straightening, honey. I'm here for this. As patchy as it is. I mean, I'm Patch Adams, but it's okay. It'll grow back soon. Hopefully. I just gotta put some castor oil up in the parts that are cut too low. Maybe I'll shave a design in there. I don't freaking know, but this is the new me. I'm thinking my first look should be like cheetah print. Is that a little much? All I know is I need to dye it as soon as possible. Let my decision to cut my hair be a metaphor for whatever you have going on in life. Just jump into your next phase, your next dimension, your next whatever it is, chapter, without fear. Because what are we really afraid of? I feel like, I don't know, I just feel so good. I feel like I can conquer the world. Part of the reason that I actually decided to do this as well was because, as you guys know, I struggle with my scalp issue. I'm hoping that now that my hair is this low, I can treat my scalp and figure out what the actual issue is, so that when my hair does get long again, I don't have to be constantly scratching it. Like, I don't have to have a whole bunch of remedies to fix my scalp. I'm hoping that because my hair is this low, I'll be able to treat it, figure it out, and not have to deal with it later on. Yeah, this is it. There were so many different factors, and it was just really a long time coming. Yeah, I can't wait to see what's next. I feel like I'm forever reinventing myself, but I'm a Taurus, so I mean, it is what it is, but we'll see where we head to next. I love you all so much, and I'm going to thank y'all in advance for your positive comments, okay? I will definitely see you in the next one.